Hello, Kohawk parents and families. Thank you for watching this video. Today I am here with Tina Powers and Barb Hoffman. They are from Dining Services and Financial Aid Office, respectively. I will let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they do here at Co. Tina, do you want to start?
Sure. Good morning. Welcome to you and your students to Co. And I manage dining services here at Co College. Dining services consists of resident dining, which is the U, which is Engaged Memorial Union, lower level. And that's where our students who are on meal plans or anyone else who wants to come in, it's an all you can eat. Basically, we have 6 different offerings, and those contain a soup and bread area. We have a deli. We have the main entree area, which is kind of more of your home style cooking. We have a grill area, and we have a what's called the creation station, and that is made up kind of like a chipotle, and you can choose to make either a wrap, a burrito, or a bowl. And we also offer in there plant-based proteins, as well as usually a chicken, beef, and pork offering, and then have all different kinds of toppings, and they can build those. We usually have cauliflower rice, we have regular rice, can be Spanish rice, cilantro rice, and then we have beans. And then you have toppings, which is just a nice variety of cheese and a hot salsa, pico de gallo, um, guacamole, and lettuce, tomato, that type of thing. And then they can add sour cream to that if they'd like. We also have our specialty station, which is called Simple Servings, which basically is a station that kind of caters to those who have any allergens. They create everything minus the 8 allergens that are known. And if you attend any station, they will have a menu that's going to be placed at their station as to what's being served for the day. And that will look like this. Today's menu that this is printed from is a teriyaki chicken breast, sauteed broccoli and garlic, cilantro jasmine rice, Asian slaw, and a house-baked buttermilk biscuit. It contains how many calories are in a serving of that. It gives the listing, the nutritionals for those, such as calories, sugar content, any of those types of things, the carbs. Then it will tell you what it contains mostly of in regards to any allergens, such as the buttermilk biscuit. It contains milk, wheat, soybean, and gluten. The Asian slaw contains wheat, soybean, and gluten. And a lot of times that's what's in the sauce that goes on to it. So because it has the soy sauce, that's where you're going to get your gluten and your soybean and your wheat. Cilantro jasmine rice does not have any allergens listed for that. Sauteed broccoli and garlic does not have any allergens listed for that. And the teriyaki chicken breast, again, contains wheat, soybean, and gluten. And that's based in your soy sauce that's in it. You can also get the same information from downloading the Bite app, which is available in your app stores. And when you get it, it'll actually look, it's a little B that's kind of slanted. But then when you go into the Bite app, and parents and students alike can look at this, can look at it every day. And so then what you're going to do is just choose at the very bottom, you're going to choose menus. And then you are going to select college that you want. Mine is already selected for Co College. And so what it does is bring up your daily dish. It'll start with breakfast. It'll go through lunch and list all of those same items and go through dinner. If you look at any individual item itself, you can go in and it will give the complete nutrition facts, all of this. The most important part is that you can then add that to your Fitness Pal. This absolutely downloads everything that you just ate into your Fitness Pal, if you have that. And so you can keep track of all your nutrition, of how you're eating and how you're keeping along with what diet it is you want to follow. If students have one of the allergens and they need to understand what accommodations they need to be able to have for the dining hall, they would go through the accommodations office. They collect the information such as all the doctor's restrictions, those types of things, and then make an appointment with us to confirm that yes, we can provide to your student. And we're also available to meet with any student whatsoever. Accommodations are very much limited to people who have strict dietary needs, such as gluten for celiac disease or other nut allergies, those types of things. We have nut allergies on campus. We're pretty much peanut free. I say pretty much just because we do have peanut butter available in single service items that a student can ask for. When they're given that, they're also given cloths to wipe up the area in which they're eating it in. Other than that, we offer sun butter on campus for them to be able to have something that's protein based that they can put on bread or crackers or just eat by itself. Also, simple servings is basically usually every meal has what's considered a excuse me, I guess I just lost my train of thought. I'll restart on that, but a whole muscle meat, pork, beef, chicken, those types of meats. One of the allergens, of course, that we don't have is seafood, so we never serve seafood. We only serve the white fish, which is basically considered not an allergen. And so you're welcome to eat there at any time, anyone is. And it actually becomes a very popular station for especially athletics. It's very good, clean food. It's fresh, it's freshly prepared at that station. They have all of their own items that they need to cook with. They have an oven, they also make a vegetarian soup, a vegan soup every day, which usually has beans and some different vegetables with a vegetable base. So we serve a lot of that. So it's just good, clean food. And a lot of our athletes participate there as well. So you can reach me either by going on to the Sodexo or the CO website and connecting with food service, and you can email me through there. I have an office that's on the second floor of Gage, and that's basically right where you're crossing over to go into the pub. And the pub is our retail area, which consists of Starbucks coffee. We have a small kind of convenience store in there for just last minute items or just things that kids would like to pick up. And then we have our grill. And we're open daily starting February 1st for the pub. And that will have offerings from 7:30 in the morning for breakfast and cooking all the day through. And we serve breakfast all day. And that goes through 8 o'clock at night. At 8 o'clock at night, what's called late night begins. Late night consists of more appetizer type snacks, mozzarella sticks, wings, chicken tenders, those types of things, fries. Kind of what the kids use for whatever. We have a very nice selection of simply to go items, which contain some vegan, some vegetarian, some of the wrapped items that come from our simple servings for any of those with allergen issues. They have things as simple as a cheese and grapes mix up to nice salads, which would be like a chicken Caesar salad or a Cobb salad, that type of thing. We have sandwiches. The very most popular is the chicken Caesar wrap. And we have all kinds of drinks to go and chips and nuts and all kinds of, they can choose fresh fruit as a side with those as well. So we also have catering on campus. We are the provider for the catering on campus. And so we work with every unit. Catering is right now not as busy as normal just because of COVID and people not gathering into, but we still provide upcoming on is it the 27th, Madison, for the movie. We'll provide popcorn station, which gives them a choice of popcorns and some hot chocolate, that type of thing. And so, you'll see us around campus bringing those around and doing that. But my name again is Tina Powers, and my office number is 319-399-8441. And call us at any time with any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. Barb, I'll turn it over to you if you want to say what you do in financial aid, and then give our parents and families a little bit of a view of what goes on over there.
Sure. Hello, welcome to College. I'm Barb Hoffman. I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at Co. And our office is located in Lower Voorhees Hall. Lower Voorhees Hall is what we term the student financial area. So we are sharing office space with the students' account office as well, which makes it very convenient to have that one-stop experience. And the registrar's office is also located in Lower Voorhees Hall. So all three student services offices, can be reached in that area. We are currently, because of COVID, the staff in the office is limited to one staff person, but you can reach us by phone, via email. So we are available to offer all of our services between 8 and 4:30 every day. You could also ask for a virtual appointment to meet with one of our staff members. We do have three financial aid counselors, and your son or daughter, whoever their financial aid counselor is for the incoming year, will be their counselor for the duration of the time here at Co. So I encourage you to get to know your financial aid counselor, because they are great advocates for both you and your student. The great part about having that consistency is when you call based on your last name, counselors are assigned. You will always speak with the same person. They will get to know your individual situation. And hopefully, there will be a lot less explaining over and over again, maybe what your situation is or what you need from us. So we really like to establish that continuous relationship during your time at Co. We do also have, for those of you who still need to maybe submit documents, financial aid documents, you can submit them right now electronically as well. We have a document upload portal on MyCo. And so let's talk a little bit about MyCo, because that has some great information, both for you and for the student. Once your student is enrolled and starts attending college, because of federal privacy regulations, when you call us, we won't be able to talk to you as freely about the financial aid award or maybe the billing statement as we could before their enrollment, because FERPA, the Federal Education Privacy Act, takes effect, and we need permission from your child to be able to continue to talk to you in the same way that we have before. So this is probably number one priority for parents as far as I'm concerned. Students can on MyCo grant permission for a parent to gain access to their billing statement, their financial aid statement, their grades, so they can accept or decline any of those. It's not an all or nothing, but at the minimum, for you to be able to be on top of finances, encourage them to give you access to financial aid award and your billing statement. If you have trouble finding that it is fairly easy. It's on MyCo, the student tab, and there are links on the right-hand side, and one of the links literally says grant parent access. And then you just follow the instructions. Once you've been granted that access, you will get your own access assigned to what we call a parent portal. So you don't have to log in through the student's account on MyCo. You will have your own access, and our IT department, upon confirmation that you've received permission, will issue that to you. So that will allow you at any time to pull up their financial aid information or their current account balance and view their account activity. If you do not get permission to view this information, you also are not notified when a bill is due or that a bill is available for viewing. That would only be your son or daughter that would get this information. And this is often where our families are surprised because students are used to their parents, getting this information, and they're making some assumptions. And we don't want you to get a surprise 3-4 months into the term that a payment was due or what have you. So again, this would be, if there's anything I hope you take away from this session today as far as my information is concerned, please make sure that you talk to your child and get that access. A few of the things that our office does is, of course, we issue financial aid awards. We review your FAFSA information. We're here anytime you have questions about financial aid. If you don't understand the terms of a certain scholarship or loan, again, call us and you'll be routed to your child's counselor. If circumstances change for you, we certainly, with COVID going on, that happens quite a bit, and we're very sensitive to that. And we do want you to let us know if there has been a financial change so that we can review this information and hopefully, help you obtain some additional financial aid if it's warranted. We're always willing to go ahead and take a look at that. And don't be afraid to call us about that, because there's so much of that right now. We know that families are struggling, and we know that the information that you reported on the FAFSA was most likely, in your case, 2019 income information, and a lot has happened since then. So if there has been a drastic change or reduction, just contact us so that we can talk about it and hopefully put a game plan together for you. Let's see, what else do we have? So there's a lot of great information on our website. There's a financial aid handbook on our website that addresses most financial aid awards, how to file the FAFSA, what the verification process is. It's just a great resource. And I know that the Students Accounts Office also has a handbook on the web. So you just may want to browse that to familiarize yourself again with those particular policies and regulations. For the, speaking of the FAFSA Financial Aid Award, it is time again now, and I know you just started at CO, but believe it or not, it's time again to file the FAFSA for the 21-22 academic year. You should be filing that now if you haven't already, to give our office time to review the information, help you correct anything that needs to be corrected, or if you are flagged for the process of what's called FAFSA verification, that we collect the appropriate documents from you. Probably the major difference between the financial aid awards that you received this year and last year is the timing. This year, you received the financial aid award as soon as you filed the FAFSA, and were admitted to code. For the 21-22 academic year, you will not receive a financial aid award letter until probably sometime the end of May, beginning of June, because we do have to, take the spring term enrollment into consideration. So there are more checks and balances that we need to do there. And also, if your FAFSA was selected for verification, then we do need you to submit all of those documents before we can issue an award. And that is different than for the first financial aid award letter. So again, I stress, please get the FAFSA filed as soon as you can. And then again, if you're filing and you're entering information in about your 2020 income, and you realize, oh, this looks so different. I wish I could tell somebody what's happening right now. Fill it out as is, use the information you're required to, but then again, contact our office so we can work with you to make sure that we can reflect or address those changes in your income or your financial resources. Let's see, what else do we have? So scholarships that your son or daughter received, typically, and I don't know if they're coming in maybe with an AA degree or if they're coming in their first semester. So typically for a freshman, there would be 8 terms of co-scholarships available. If they're coming in with maybe enough credits to be at a junior standing, they would have 2 years of scholarships available. So we do pay attention to that to make sure that they have enough terms of scholarship eligibility to finish their degree here at Co. There are times when a student may have to take, 2 or have 2 or 3 majors where it takes them longer than even the 4 years to complete. And in that case, because our scholarships at the maximum are for 8 terms, students will receive a 50% reduction of tuition if they're still here after that time, maybe trying to finish multiple majors. And I think that is about it for what I have to say, other than we love to hear from parents. This is what we're here for. You're not wasting our time. No question is dumb. And again, if you feel like you have some special circumstances, don't be shy. Contact us, so we can work on this together. You can reach us at the main number at 319-399-8540. You can also shoot us an email at o-financialaid@co.edu, or you can schedule a virtual appointment with us and we can meet via Zoom, or we can give you a call at a certain time. It's really entirely up to you. There is a link on MyCo to schedule a Zoom meeting, and in every one of our emails, we also have a link that when we contact you, if you want to then schedule a meeting with us, you're welcome to do those so as well. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this.
Thank you, Barb. Yeah, kind of a theme that I heard from both of you is that student independence that maybe can be backed up a little bit by a parent nudge. So like Barb was saying, granting parent access to your students' financial aid information on MyCo will really help keep your whole family in the know. And then Tina was mentioning that accommodations process where if your student needs to reach out to the accommodations office or needs to discuss a specific diet or a specific allergy, we want to encourage our students to take on those processes, but it is also definitely helpful for parents and family members to back them up in that and to be aware of what's going on. So that's a theme around campus in general, but good for parents to be aware of. You both said a little bit about what the differences have been this year and this upcoming term because of COVID. Is there anything else that our parents should know about or the way that things are operating this semester that maybe aren't what we're used to?
Well, for dining services, it's limited to the amount of people that we have in the dining hall. We haven't had a problem with reaching the max because we've opened up our ability for them to carry out a meal. And if they choose to take several meals, they can do more than one swipe for however many to-go containers that they want to be able to come to the dining room less if they want to. We've given them options of being able to take any item that there is. We encourage them to be able to take any item, and so we have bowls that we can contain the soup in. We have salads that are pre-made and put into a container, and then they ask us to top it with whatever that they want, since we can't have a salad bar. And they've actually enjoyed that pretty well, I think, because the container gives them the ability to shake that and mix up their salad. I think they've enjoyed that. So that's been a real popular item. And we even have, for pizza, we have the pizza boxes, which help keep that kind of meat and on its own, and pasta in a nice pasta bowl. The main entrees go into a sectioned whatever they want. And so that's been a big change, is a lot of to go. We have increased cleaning in the dining hall. This year, it was really interesting because we thought first semester it was going to be very difficult for the students, and they were going to be very negative about everything that was going on because everything was in to-go containers. And we make sure that everything that we use is either recyclable or compostable, and to make sure that we're having the least impact that we can on the environment at the same time that we're dealing with this. We have students that choose to eat in the dining hall, and we have separators, acrylic separators that sit at the tables. We have them with and without, so groups that either room together or are in a team that play together, they can sit at tables without those separators. Other than that, they've got a separator which protects them even when they take their mask off to eat, to be able to sit and eat and still enjoy the communal part of what the dining hall is all about. We try very hard to make sure the experience is still there. Our evaluations from the students in a survey this year came back the highest that they've been in many years. And so they were just very happy with the way things turned out. And that makes us thankful, because we all know that eating is such a important part of our life, and especially interacting with other people. So.
Thanks, Tina. Anything else from financial aid that our parents ought to know about COVID, Barb?
Maybe one of the challenges is our federal work-study program. Just because we have, some students have opted to stay at home and take courses online, which is great. And some departments, just because of the limited space, maybe haven't hired as many people or as quickly as we ordinarily would. So if work study is part of the financial aid award, we will do our best to try to get the student assigned, but just be patient with us. Some students may even get the option, if they're not living on campus, to do their work study, from at home, where they don't have to be on site. So we are, looking at all of those options and are doing the best we can. We understand that students do rely on those work study funds. So we are committed that students who receive a work study award will get the opportunity to earn that funding. Which probably something I should mention, work study is a little confusing when you see it how it's presented on the financial aid award letter and on the bill. So when you're looking at your initial financial aid award letter and you see the balance that we anticipate you would have, that we already assumed that work study would be applied to the student's account as it is earned. So when you get your first bill, your actual statement, because work study, no one has worked work study yet, it's going to look like it's overstated. You typically buy about $900 because that's how much the average term work study award is. Over time, however, when the student works, so you can leave that $900 outstanding. And over time, as the student works, if they committed to apply their funds to their account, they should be able to pay off all of it, or at least a large portion of it. So that's, yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Madison, because that is one of the challenges, but we are addressing that, and we're aware that it's sensitive and people rely on those work study awards.
Thanks for explaining that, Barb. Yeah, I know that doesn't apply to every family, but it's definitely useful for our parents to know what's going on with that process. You both already mentioned what the best way is to contact your office in case parents want to reach out. So that's awesome. Definitely a phone call or an email can go a long way here. So yeah, I think if there's any other advice or any other info that we haven't already discussed for parents, we can kind of give them a parting message. Otherwise, we'll be ready to wrap up.
My parting message would be, please call us, contact us. If you have any questions, anything you don't understand, we'd love to meet you, love to talk to you. So please don't hesitate to contact us, email, phone, or Zoom meeting. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us today virtually and not live, but thanks for viewing this video. And you can feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm the coordinator of parent programs, and my email is mdoctor, dockper@co.edu. Thanks for being here with me.
Thank you.
Bye.